Hi everyone! We're back again sa ating online mentoring, and this week, ang pag-uusapan natin is, hoy, wag ka! Ano kaya yon? Don't be judgmental. Chuck Swindoll, an evangelical pastor, a radio preacher, an author, said that being judgmental is the deadliest sin in the world. You can find it anywhere. Whether you are rich or poor, educated or uneducated, Christian or non-Christian, you can find this attitude of judging others. We judge politicians, even the prostitutes, and even pastors. Whether we will admit it or not, everybody is guilty of this sin. You can actually find it everywhere. It's one sin we tend to make excuses for. We always say, I'm not really judging, I'm just a fruit inspector. If I may ask, how many times a day are you judged by the way you dress or the kind of car you drive? Or how many times a day do you judge someone else's appearance or even the way they talk and walk? I remember one vivid example is Susan Boyle. To refresh our memory, it all began in 2009 when this unassuming Scottish woman walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage. The judges, including Simon Cowell, scoffed, kinutya talaga siya, at Susan Boyle as she introduced herself to the crowd because of her looks. But that was before she opened her mouth to sing. Susan Boyle proceeded to blow the judges and the whole world away with her breathtaking rendition of I Dream a Dream. Today, that clip is as much a part of reality TV history as it is in YouTube channel. And a star, as they say, was born. The truth of the matter is, looks can be deceiving. Just because something looks nice on the outside doesn't mean that it has something good on the inside. And sometimes what doesn't look very special on the outside does have something wonderful inside. God always judges by what's on the inside, not what's on the outside. He judges our hearts, not what we look like. I derive this message from the story in 1 Samuel chapter 16, when God anointed David to be the king of Israel. But at first, Samuel was not convinced because he was looking at the outward appearance. That's why it's written in verse 7, but God told Samuel, looks are not everything. Don't be impressed with his looks and stature. Because Samuel was assuming that it was David's brother who is to be anointed as king. But God said, I've already eliminated him. God judges person differently than humans do. Men and women look at the face, but God looks into the heart. So after his rejection of all David's brothers, God reveals the difference between himself and the world when it comes to judging people. Whether we will accept it or not, man looks at the appearance. That is why every human being yata spends so much time, energy, and money to look like a person of status. So I would like to share these 4 powerful truths that we need to live by. There are principles in life that we need to learn and understand. Number 1 is, don't let appearance define your acceptability. I repeat, don't let appearance define your acceptability. Actually, Apostle Peter says in chapter 3 of 1 Peter, what matters is not your outer appearance, the styling of your hair, the jewelry you wear, the cut of your clothes, but your inner disposition. Let's cultivate this inner beauty, the gentle, gracious kind that God delights in. I remember even Jesus said in John chapter 7 verse 24, Do not judge by appearance, superficially and arrogantly, but judge fairly and righteously. And number 2, it's wrong to judge according to the outward appearances. It's wrong to judge according to the outward appearances. Yes, stop judging by mere appearance and make a right judgment. When you look at a person and judge them by their hair, by their clothes, or their style, even the color of their skin, it doesn't matter. When you judge by outward appearance, that is absolutely wrong. Superficial judgment is wrong. Passing judgment on someone based solely on appearances is sinful. As I've said in John chapter 7, verse 24, it is foolish to jump to conclusions before investigating the facts, as it is written in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13. Even Simon the Pharisee passed judgment on a woman based on her appearance and reputation, but he could not see that the woman had been forgiven. Thus, Jesus rebuked him for his unrighteous judgment. Number 3 principle is only God has the right to judge others. Dear friends, as Apostle James says, as part of God's family, never speak against another family member. For when you slander a brother or sister, you violate God's law of love. And your duty is not to make yourself a judge of the law of love by saying that it doesn't apply to you, but your duty is to obey it. There is only one true lawgiver and judge, the one who has the power to save and destroy. So who do you think you are to judge your neighbor? I repeat, who do we think we are when we judge our neighbor? And number 4 principle that we need to live by, God has extended His grace to us. In return, let us extend this to others. Yes, God extended His lavish grace to us, but there are times we are so full and do not extend this grace to others. As I remember, Warren Wiersbe once wrote, "Has someone wronged you recently? Resist the urge to judge that person. Instead, pray that God might use you to reach the offender." Even Mother Teresa quoted, "If you judge people, you have no time to love them." So again, I repeat, let us not judge by mere appearance, because looks are not everything. Let us not be impressed with the looks and stature, because God judges differently than humans do. God looks into the heart.